Hey guys, it's Alec Torelli and welcome back to the Hand of the Day. Before we get started, I want to take this opportunity and share a very exciting new playlist I have that's coming out on my YouTube channel. It actually came out yesterday. It's a new series called Hello Alec. We're releasing 5 new hands every single week. So I'm getting a ton of these Hand of the Day requests and I feel terrible I can't analyze all of them on my channel. Your hands that you guys sent to me are going to be read by a special friend of mine who I'm going to introduce you to called the Robot. So I will select the best hand, the hand with the most comments, the most views, the most feedback once a week. And the next week I will take that hand and feature it on my Hand of the Day channel and I'll discuss it and I'll, use all the comments and feedback that you guys give me, put my own thoughts into that video and then create a Hand of the Day out of that for you guys right here. We're gonna publicize one new hand every day, 5 days a week. I'm encouraging you guys to leave comments and give your feedback, but I'm not gonna analyze any of the hands. I'm just gonna play them for you. I'll be monitoring the comments and stuff like that as well and hopefully participating with you guys because I'm loving your feedback. You guys leave great comments and it's a really cool discussion that you guys are involved with on all the hands, and I'm really loving how well you guys have done with sharing your stuff, and I think that you guys are learning a ton, not only from me hopefully, but also from each other. And so this is really an outlet and a channel and a platform for you guys to share your hands and get feedback from the other players involved on the channel. So I hope you guys enjoy. I think this is going to be an awesome experiment. It's also a chance to give you guys 5 extra new hands a week, so hope you guys enjoy it. And for now, let's get back to the Hand of the Day. Today's hand comes from Etan, who's playing a 1-3 no limit game live with 9 players. He's got $400 in front of him and he gets dealt 2 black aces. 5 limpers in the game. He goes on to explain a little background here that the game plays really loose and he makes a $20 raise, which is a little bigger of a pre-flop raise here. So he didn't want to indicate too much strength, trying to keep some players in the pot and try and win a big pot. He's a little startled when the small blind, who's a really good pro, calls the $20 out of position. Cold calling a raise here from a good player out of position in the small blind, generally an indicator of strength, especially because he was perceived as a good player and he knows that this guy wouldn't really be messing around here. Probably put him on tens or jacks, ace queen, a strong hand pre-flop for sure. One of the other guys calls and they go 3 ways to the flop. The flop comes Queen 8-2, all spades. So great flop for us. We have 2 aces, ace of spades, looking pretty here. We really like our hand. Looking to play a big pot. Pot's already $110 and we're in a great spot. So the small blind leads out $35, which is a really small bet here and it is a little bit of an alarm bell. He called a raise out of position in the small blind. He has a really narrow hand range and he goes out and leads into 2 people. So he's definitely never bluffing here, I don't think. I don't think he ever has something like King Jack of Hearts. I mean, it's possible that he's just turning a hand into a bluff and betting really small, trying to win the pot, but I think most likely he flopped a decent amount of equity and either wants to protect his hand with a small flush or a set, or put out a feeler bet and just kind of take down the pot with something like Queen Jack suited and not let a free card go. So I think he has a big hand here, and it's unfortunate when he leads, but we still have 2 aces. We're in a good spot. The other guy folds and it's back on us. So Etan goes ahead and raises here to $110. He says he wants to put the guy at a decision for all his chips, find out where he's at in the hand, and sort of protect his hand as well. I actually dislike this raise here. I think that when you raise here to 110, you're sort of over-representing your hand. I think that you never really have worse than 1 pair. The only hands you could have that have a draw on it are like huge draws like ace-king with the ace of spades, which are pretty big hands. You don't really have any bluffs in your range, and I think that the only way your opponent's going to continue is if he has better than 1 pair. So he's only really going to continue with flushes or sets. I think if he led with a hand like Queen Jack suited, he's just going to fold that hand. So I don't really think we get any value from worse hands, and I think it's better just to call here. We also allow our opponent to keep bluffing on the offset chance he is bluffing, and we can reevaluate on turns and get away from our hand later, and a lot of good things could happen for us in position here. So I disagree with the raise, but we went ahead and raised to 110 and our opponent calls. So now we're not thrilled with our hand again. I think that most of the time here he's going to be folding his weak 1 pairs. So I'm not loving my hand in this spot. Even though I have a huge draw with my ace of spades, I think a lot of the time I'm going to be beat. So he could have ace queen. He can't really have king queen because I don't think he calls pre-flop with king queen offsuit. King queen with the king of spades is like maybe. But anyway, I think he has flushes and sets here. So I'm not really loving my hand. The turn comes another deuce. He checks, and we go ahead and check behind here. I'm proud of Etan. He made a good reasoning for his check. I think he really realized that he was either way ahead or way behind, and he wasn't really going to get much value from worse hands. And the only way he could get value is maybe letting his opponent think that he was weak and then bet the river and, you know, hope for a hero call on his opponent. So I don't mind checking the turn behind here, seeing what happens on the river, and maybe we could get away from our hand. Maybe we improve to a flush. We'll see what happens. The river is a deuce, so now we make a full house, and this is obviously a great card for us. I mean, we improve to beat a lot of flushes in our opponent's range, and as well as that, if our opponent had a hand like ace queen, you know, we now have him in a spot where we can win a lot of money from him because it's really hard for him to fold his hand. So our opponent goes ahead and bets. He goes all in for $250. The pot's about 300, he bets 250. So now we're really at a math spot, right? We got to think about what hands is he shoving with and what price are we getting and what equity do we need to call. So quick math will tell you you're getting 2.2 to 1. You need roughly 32% equity to call. You just got to figure out, you know, is there enough worse hands in his range that I have that equity with? I did some math on this, and basically if your opponent, the short answer is if your opponent ever has ace queen, then you have to call. It's a very easy call. You're getting plenty of equity. Even if he has pocket queens and pocket eights, which I don't think he has queens too often. He probably 3-bets pre-flop with that. So even if he has both of those hands and ace queen, you're 50% and you only need 32%. So you got a clear call here. I don't know how often he shows up with a queen, but it's just too big of a hand to fold. He might have a queen. He might have played it funny on the flop and got stuck with his hand and just decided not to fold it. Shoving on the river from his point of view is fine. People go all in with full houses, even if it doesn't necessarily make a ton of sense for him to go all in here. But anyway, I don't think I would fold here on the river. I'm not loving it. I wouldn't have played the hand necessarily this way to get to this spot, but what can you do? Check out my blog, AlecTorelli.com. I break down the math a lot more in this spot. I give my opponent a very specific range. You can see all the hands I put him on and all the equities and a lot more of those math calculations, absolutely free. Head on over to AlecTorelli.com and check out this blog for more stuff. Leave me a comment on the site. Let me know what you guys think, and I'd love to hear from you. If you have hands you'd like me to review, go ahead and shoot them to me on my blog, and I will pick the best ones, select them right here. In the meantime, subscribe to my channel, and you'll always be the first to know when good stuff comes your way. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Here, especially for the size of the pot. Your hand looks like a flush, so I just think it's too thin.